brothers.
Silence on the golf course. Silence you.
Clap, 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 clap. Watch out, I'll break your leg.
Then a 9-iron wide because it takes 9 of them.
What was it, May 11th? Yeah, I think this is when Title 42 or whatever it expires.
And they're going to storm the border.
What's going to fucking happen then?
Same thing is happening now.
They'll rehire Tucker Carlson.
Yeah. Tucker the fucker.
I don't think they're going to rehire him. They're dead.
Nah, he's got his own new thing, man. He's going to be like Rogan. He'll go set up his own new media empire.
I think so.
Pretty sure. Why wouldn't he? Well, you've got all that money on the table. Why not? Because it just makes sense. Because there is no difference between MSN, NBC, CNN, and Fox. They're all basically the fucking same. It's just all you're doing is spinning the same object at a different perspective, and it's the same bullshit. Whether you're listening to Joy Reid or Don Lemon, which I was laughing. He got fired. Anyway.
And the next day, Tucker Carlson.
And then Tucker Carlson said, I will not be upstaged.
Wow.
Go the way of Alex Jones.
But again, it's the same thing. The same thing with the media. It's the same thing with our politicians.
Well, they're just they're the loud, active component of the deep state.
We're the talking heads for this point of view. And that's it.
How
can we gain viewers and divide the people so that we can remain
And they've got
in
such
power?
tiny audiences. If you think about it from the number of the
Is that
population.
slang for something?
Audience? I don't think so.
So
Okay.
you're talking about like Tucker has a small audience?
Tucker has a huge audience.
Right.
Fox is now
yeah.
going to have a smaller audience because Tucker's gone now. Because Tucker's going to go and do
Miss
his...
Duane
No,
Reed,
I
Miss
don't.
Duane
I
Reed
totally disagree
immediately-
with that. I think
Miss Duane Reed
Fox
immediately quit
is-
watching Fox anything.
I haven't watched them since at least a year. Definitely a year. Well, ever since I moved here, so it's almost 2 years I haven't watched Fox because I watched Newsmax.
Yeah, and that's because the main lamestream media is a bunch of doofuses, and they're just spooling out the pablum for the masses. So Newsmax and Blaze and
I want to because on the Samsung they got it's Newsmax and it's a Real American TV or American Real TV, whatever.
what is OAN? One American Network.
I don't know.
That's another one. That's
And then
there's a million of them now.
but they're right next to each other, which is those are the only ones I watch. And
yeah, but they're allegedly news, but they're just editorial commentary. It's not.
Yeah, I
not
mean,
news.
they're-
News is what when you were a kid, you came in the house and at 5:00, the local.
there's
news,
very few that do that.
There was a wreck on I-10,
Yeah,
there's very
it's gonna
few that
rain
do that,
tomorrow
man.
afternoon.
and the Cowboys won again.
Right.
Right. There's very few that do
news,
that.
weather, and sports, and they were done in 30 minutes, and then again at 11:00. But you're right.
The only one that did that on with I think Brett Baer was the only one on Fox that did that. There was no
the 24-hour news
Agenda.
cycle ruined.
there was no opinions. It was basically this is the news flat out. But it was always okay. It was leaning more conservative because it was on a new conservative program.
Who do you think
But-
people listen to more, Walter Cronkite or Brett Baer? Because they're not listening to Joy
Walter
Reid.
Cronkite's dead.
Well, he is now.
Well,
If they're listening to him, they've got a Ouija board.
Walter
In
Cronkite, everybody
comparison.
listened. I mean, news was different back then than what it is now
Right.
because it was actual.
But it was doing the same thing, only a lot smoother.
Because the thing is everybody was trying to get the true skinny on everything that was going on.
and there was only 3 networks.
Right. And now there's nobody, I mean, at all that's doing that. It's like, because I can go on there and there's Newsmax and then the America's Real Voice and then there's the TYT. And I was like, what the hell is TYT?
Tit.
Tit.
We know.
No, it's something Young Turks or something like that.
Oh,
Oh,
that
my
guy's
God.
a stinking communist. They
are.
All right, so here's a question though. You're talking about back in the day. Back in the
Chink
day,
Uyghur.
you got your Walter Cronkite. You got your Walter Cronkite.
Right.
Yeah, that guy.
So you got your 3 networks that we grew up with,
And Walter
and you're
Matthews.
telling me that back in the day they were only wanting to just give you
No.
All right, okay. I just want to make sure.
No, it was the exact same thing was going on. It was just the delivery was smoother, and it was assumed that they were giving the news, but there is no difference between those television shows and the current television shows. It's just now they're disingenuous about it. More so.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I got that right,
No, we're on
and
the
that our
same.
people understood that.
Yeah.
No, y'all were getting fed
I'm
up
not making eye
a
contact
line
with
of
those
bull
people.
crap too back then.
Oh, hold
as
it.
long as there's been media, you've been fed crap.
That's why they came up with yellow journalism, cheap paper.
What? That's racist.
Yellow journalism.
No, it's
That's
not.
when
It's
the
not,
A-
it's not
China?
Asian, not Asian news.
Oh.
Pulp press, cheap paper.
Oh.
See, can't take you people anywhere. Bunch of illiterates.
It'd be a lot of fun if you did.
Well,
What? Who? What? Me? What? Where?
no,
I have no faith in the media, period. I don't
And the
care.
thing-
And
Whichever-
they're not incentivized to tell the truth anymore.
Which
No.
They're
it
not. It's
doesn't
just
tell me. You
entertainment.
tell me about what you say is the news, and I may be like, no, they're just tickling your fancy.
They're all some variation of Richard Dawson.
'Cause you can go-
whether
you-
it's Richard Dawson from The Running Man or Richard Dawson from Family Feud.
Yeah, you're
Right.
just
It's
finding
all-
something that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
and then and the thing is like they're all. It's like I'll watch this program and then I'll flip over to watch this one just to see. It's like where they're talking about this. Go over and talk and hear what they're saying. It is like, okay, this is not the same as that. They're somebody's lying in this. You know,
Yeah, but
they
who?
all are.
But the thing is that
Well,
Who's lying the least?
But here's the thing is like this news program will be talking about what this one is doing or what they're doing in office or whatever, and they will show clips of all these other programs. They'll show their news clips, and it's like, oh, that's because and just like when I flipped over there, they're all lying about
They're
it.
all sharing the same AP photos,
Yeah.
the same stock bullshit. Morton Downey Jr., Donahue.
Robert Downey Jr.
Well, that's the son. God dang it, he just died yesterday.
Springer.
Jerry Springer. So all those original guys, nobody knows who Donahue. I could guarantee you could walk into a room full of 30-year-olds and ask them who's Donahue, and they're going to go, I don't know who that was. That was the first big editorial guy.
Had cool hair.
Yeah, I guess so.
Did he?
I think so.
He was an old
salty,
man.
A nice salty, peppery kind of a.
But there was, and then there was
Big,
a series
thick
of cohorts
glasses.
before. What in the world?
The timer.
Ignore it.
We just get audited.
No,
but there were,
my chickens just had 12 eggs.
but and there was a whole series of like Cabot was and Mike, what's his name? I can't remember the guy's last name now. Anyway, there was a whole series of guys before then. Just the same way with late night, there was only a couple of late night guys, and then it migrated into there's 900 late night guys, and even those guys split off, and now Conan's doing web only stuff, and the dummies that are left are just stinking talking heads, dancing syringes and bullshit. So it's none of it is. God dang it!
I agree with what you're
No,
saying.
you're
You're losing your train of thought on your own. I'm not helping you.
I'm
here.
having an OPS moment.
No, every one of them, and they're only working to just forward their agenda.
Yeah, generate revenue.
That's
Generate,
it.
Yeah,
That's it.
selling tampons and catheters. And,
We don't care about being honest and true. We care about manipulating you.
Yeah.
It's all about the dollar.
Can
Yeah.
I get a laugh at a
Now,
poll?
I will give it to Fox in the fact that they're the Fox babes. Easy on the eyes.
Till they
yeah.
get fired?
Well, they didn't all get fired. Just some of them did. But the rest of the state, they went out of their way to find Joy Reid. Yuck. She's awful. She's miserable. She's one of those cranky Karens that just can't just audible birth control, because the more she talks, the smaller your dick gets.
I don't need her help.
The more I talk, the smaller your dick gets.
I don't need your help either.
His machine's already told him.
Asian boy.
You got the smaller peepee.
Asian boy.
Asian boy.
Well,
I don't know. It could
Well,
be.
our media is lacking. That's the fact.
I wish we just had. Well, let me rephrase that thought. The way that the local media, it should be constricted to telling local news, just like we used to have local newspapers. Local stuff should do local stuff and should stay the holy hell out of this 24-hour commentary-based news-ertainment stuff, just so that we get legitimate what was the Farm Report, and then the first news of the day. It used to be like 5 o'clock and then 6 o'clock in the morning, and you could find what's going to happen, where the stock, are you going to go to the co-op and buy grain or whatever. But you had legitimate information that you could use for the rest of the day that made your day worthwhile. And they would also have a call-in board. So, hey, this bank's going to be closed because of, or the power's out at the HEB or whatever the case, or Palacios is out of tortillas or whatever the case may be.
Garnier Palacios.
Yeah. Orderly. So, but this
Great
stuff,
chorizo, though.
I think with the media, like I know in the what is it, America's Real Voice, they have one program on there, and they're all calling them, they're a podcast, so basically that's what they've done. They're a podcast, but they're on a news network now.
streaming service.
Yeah, and I don't know, Studio 6B, live in Studio 6B, and there's normally four guys that are on there. The one guy, he does the sports, and he literally reads. He's got it up on his iPad, and he will go through there and he reads it off the iPad.
He's reading the AP streams.
Yeah, and so it's like,
Did the left, right, did the
Yeah, I
audio
did.
just do something weird?
it's weird.
Audio did something weird, but we're still rolling.
Yeah,
Tube.
I don't know what happened there.
You got to work through it. You got to work through the odd.
Boob.
But yeah, it was, and they're just, I mean, they're all opinionated, but it's like,
And it's all commentary.
and yeah,
It's not news.
Yeah, it's not.
Well,
news.
all the-
It's-
they're regurgitating it.
Here's news. A train derailed. Okay, there's the news.
and
then
the president refused to go see it.
38 minutes worth of commentary about what caused it. It's
Yeah, and
Trump's fault.
And why Pete Buttigieg didn't.
It's this and it's this and it's
What
this.
in the
Here's
world?
all the reasons as why the train derailed and what's on it is terrible and yada yada yada. But the train derailed. We're investigating it. And then a week later, that train that derailed, remember? Here's what happened. It got a bearing that overheated and a wheel fell off. Okay.
It fell the fuck off.
They did not do proper maintenance.
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 That's what I
Isn't
said.
there a T in there somewhere?
Look for it. Find some tea.
The
Go look
T
for
is
your
silent.
tea.
The T is silent. So, no, I'm with you on that one. And I went ahead, and what I did is, the FCC mandated that all the terrestrial channels still exist. So the local stuff has to transmit through the air. Just because there's cable doesn't mean that they get off the hook. So all these channels have to be in high def in the air. So you get a little antenna, stick it in your window, and you can watch ABC, NBC, CBS. What in this neck of the woods, it's mostly the Hispanic stations, but who cares? The news is better with those guys anyway, or at least it's easier to watch because the news.
They're weather people.
The news babes.
And what's their weather ladies?
Cha-cha and her fancy chanclas.
Cha-cha and her fancy chocolates.
Oof. Oof. So, I don't know. I'm with you. I can't. I don't have the stomach lining left to keep. I don't care who's arguing with who, even though listening to Jim Jordan occasionally could be funny. But Kennedy from Louisiana.
That guy.
That dude is cracks.
He just the
And his approval rating is right above jockey itch.
that's he is no he the shit he throws out there is just like, oh my god.
Fucking funny. Now that kind of, if you were to camp out and do that kind of news stuff, dude, I'm all over it because that shit's fucking hilarious.
I like watching the like.
But
some of
who
those,
wants to listen to Jerry Nadler prattle on about?
oh my god,
what?
he's that dude.
Somebody does.
The one I like Josh Hawley. Have you ever? I don't know if you've seen that some of the videos.
He looks like a 12-year-old though.
Yeah, but man, he just when he systematically goes down and for questioning,
picking 'em
and
apart.
he already it's thought through. He knows what he has to say. He knows pretty much what the answer is going to be, and
Well, Matt Gaetz is kind of that same way. Only he's just
Yeah.
a little bit more
emotional in it.
aggressive about
Yeah.
it. Jim Jordan is a good one.
I
a few.
miss Trey Gowdy and Jason Chaffetz. That's all I can say.
Watch Fox. 'Cause
They're
what
not there anymore.
Yeah, they are.
Are they there?
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't know. On that topic, and I'll get off of it really quickly. 6-year term limits. Period.
That's what she said.
You do 6 years in a row, or 2 and 2 and 2, or 4 and 2, or what? But then you're done, and you cannot be there. The term professional politician should be
Gotta go away.
Illegal.
Got to go
you
away.
Can't do it,
Term limits.
and that's it.
Term limits.
And no, I'm not going to go on into the president because he's a dummy. He's an old weetard.
Oh yeah.
Which one?
Speaking of pooping the bed, FJB. That's all I'm saying. Go poop the bed, FJB. Go fall up a stairwell.
I'm sure he does.
He's a
Every night.
douche. He's a fucking
Happily.
douche. Everybody in that whole criminal and back in the day, that would have made bloody headlines. You could replace Gotti with Biden, and the headlines are almost read fucking the same.
Yeah.
If it was an R Joe Biden and not a D Joe Biden, it would be a completely different.
Yeah, that's true. Because you got his pronouns are the correct pronouns. And people like AOC should be
Elected over and over and over again, apparently.
Sandy
no.
Cortez.
just Karen Cortez. No, that's when you look back in the history book and you go, oh, wow, the Greeks really had this right. Brazen bull. So we're going to stick her in a brass bowl, put the brass bowl on top of a fire, and cook her. Just, you want to hear her whine and moan? Do it that way. Put her in a burlap bag with 2 wild dogs, store her in the river. Just get rid of that trollop. She's a hooah.
Well, I dated that girl back in the day. A little whine, a little moan.
Wine Lamone. He was dating Don Lamone.
Oh,
He was
Donna, his sister.
docking with Don.
Talking with Don. Well,
Ugh.
So when Don Lemon has sex with another man, who's
A white
how
dude.
do they know which?
He fucks
how
a
do
white
they-
dude.
How do they know whose penis is supposed to open up to accept the other?
God almighty. Yeah, I guess. Do they do Rochambeau? You do rock, paper, scissors to figure out who.
I don't know, man.
No, it's your turn. No, I did it last time. No, you didn't. It was me.
I was
I
just
did-
quoting a little Dwight Schrute there.
Reed Brothers.